Roads, where we're going, we don't need roads. Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Justin. We're back at the movies for another review. If you couldn't tell just by that quote, we're directing one of the greatest movies of all time today. I'm talking about the Robert Zemeckis directed 1985 classic Back to the Future. What's not to love about this movie? I mean, I would be hard-pressed to find many people who, A, haven't seen the movie, and B, don't love the movie, because it's one of those movies that everybody loves. It's an iconic movie. We're talking about an amazing cast, one of the greatest soundtracks of all time, and one of the greatest directors leading the way. Robert Zemeckis knocks it out of the park with this one. This is his, as far as I'm concerned, greatest performance, and he's had some amazing performances as a director. You're talking about a man who's directed classic comedies like Romancing the Stone. He directed Death Becomes Her, Who Framed Roger Rabbit, won an Oscar for Forrest Gump for Best Director, Castaway. This man has an incredible resume to his record, but Back to the Future will always be his crowning achievement because it's one of the greatest movies of all time. The soundtrack, like I said, you've got the likes of Huey Lewis in the News. Look out for a cameo from Huey Lewis in the movie. But you got Huey Lewis in the News with one of the greatest songs of all time, The Power of Love. You've got Johnny Be Good by Chuck Berry. You've got Earth Angel. You've got songs by Eric Clapton and Johnny Ace and Eddie Van Halen. I mean, you're talking an amazing soundtrack that just works so well with the movie and the cast. I mean, Michael J. Fox. Who doesn't love Michael J. Fox? You know, to this day, I root for that man in whatever he does. You know, he's a legend and an icon. And, you know, this movie is, I couldn't tell you how many times I've seen this movie, but I love it. It has a place in my heart that'll never go away. Christopher Lloyd as Dr. Emmett Brown, Leah Thompson, Crispin Glover, Thomas F. Wilson, Claudia Wells. They're all just amazing in their characters. Thomas F. Wilson as Biff Tannen, come on. Is he not the funniest but coolest villain you could have? I mean, he's just the epitome of cool but arrogant and a prick. And that's what you love about his character, Biff. You know, Crispin Glover as the creepy dad. You know, that's him. I feel like you didn't have to stretch much to make Crispin Glover the creepy dad. It's just such an amazing cast. It's an amazing movie. Like, I don't know how people haven't seen it. It's, you know, and what's so great about Back to the Future is no matter how many times I've seen it, and again, couldn't tell you. I used to watch this movie nearly every day when I was a kid. I'm still learning new things about it. You know, just recently I found a few things I didn't know, and I was shocked. You know, at one point, you know, you have the name of the mall when Marty McFly, Michael J. Fox's character, when he goes back in time, when he comes back, the mall's name is changed. Who the hell knew that? You know, it's like learning these little things still to this day is what makes this movie so special, is no matter how many times I've seen it, I'm always seeing something new. I love this movie. I can't say enough good things about this movie. You know, and it was insanely successful. It's, you know, it's a generational movie. You can, like, I hope one day to show my daughter this movie together and we can love it just like I loved it when I was her age. This is one of the greatest movies of all time. You know, Bob Gale and Bob Zemeckis, you know, they know how special it is, and they won't let anybody else mess with it. And you shouldn't. It's too good, and the series is too good to do anything else with it. You don't need to. It withstands the test of time because of everything going on in it. You got a kid from 1985 that goes back to 1955, screws a bunch of stuff up, and has to think on the fly, no pun intended, to make things right again. But in doing so, he makes things better. I cannot say enough good things about this movie. There are no flaws with this movie. There are none. If you see a flaw, I've overlooked it. Back to the Future is one of those movies that will forever withstand the test of time, because I don't care who you are. When you were a teenager, you were Marty McFly. You like to sleep in, you like to have fun, you like to have a good time, you got into trouble, and that's what life is that's what life is as a teenager. And he embodies what it meant to be a teenager. Not enough good things, like I said, can be said about this movie. I feel I might even be doing this a little bit misjustice, but I said there are no 10s in movie history. I can't give it a 10, but I can give it one of the highest scores I think I will ever give a movie, 9.4. This is one of the greatest movies of all time. If you haven't seen it, shame on you. See it, you'll love it, and you'll keep going back to it. It's one of those, no matter what's going on, Back to the Future will make it better. Back to the Future, 1985, 9.4. That's my review. And, yeah, that's it. So, I'll see you down the road. Take care.